backfield, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. Red feather pump fakes once, right-hand side, that's going to be picked off! Picked off by O'Neal, Julius O'Neal with his first interception of the day.
It's panic time now for the Pride. Christensen throws, that's batted up in the air and intercepted! It's taken away and down the sideline goes number 20, Lucius Sanders. Put it on the board, touchdown Cleveland. Oh my goodness.
And here's the counter play to Zulu, and Ogun will go. He's his best run of the day, and Ogun Zulu will go for the touchdown. Wow, what a run by Ogun Zulu.
Unbelievable.
Man, they're being very precise, like exactly what you wanted them coming out of the half. And Pickler dropping back. He's going to fire deep, and it's going to be caught. And he's at the 30 to the 20 to the 10 and taking it into the end zone. Nick Finch with a huge touchdown, and just, wow, what a play from the Gladiators and the coverage there from the Tyrants. The DB went for the interception, and he came up with error.
1st and 10 from the 21 here. Just over 6 minutes to go in the third. Chicago trying to uppercut this St. Louis Gladiators team and put them on the ropes. King, shotgun snap, moves in the pocket, fires deep down the field, caught at the back line! What a grab! And the first touchdown of Greg Soto's career is a spectacular one.
Greg Soto coming in, replacing the retired J.C. Torres. Said, don't worry, Shane. I know you're about to win one.
This will be just under 32 yards for Otis Boudreau. On his left hash, the right footer stands ready. Spot is down. Kick is up. It is good. Otis Boudreau does it again in walk-off fashion. Louisiana taking down Florida 20-19.
They go 4 wide with the tight end split out. Stopped over the middle, throws another interception, and this time it's Jack Brown.
That one's going in the house.
Touchdown, number 36.
They call this, Colin, the law of averages. You know, whenever there's this many interceptions going on in a game, one of them's bound to go back to the house and get some points, right?
Oh my goodness. Now multiple linebackers have an interception, but this time Jack Brown turns around and runs it into the end zone.
And I'll tell you something. He dropped for Dunhill. He's going to lob it deep. It's going to be caught. No one around him. He's going to be in. Touchdown. Forward Toros. Stephen Hacker does the robot and gets us off flying.
It's the second to last week of this Simulation Football League regular season, and it all comes down to this. It's win and you have a chance, and lose and you're done for good for these two 4-6 teams here this evening. It's really that simple. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Liberty Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, alongside our all-star crew, Cameron Irvine behind the scenes, Andy Hamilton and Zach Haldorf in the stat truck, and my partner, my friend Tyler Falk. I'm Tim Hackett. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Happy to have you with us wherever you're joining us from. Tyler, this time of year, it seems like a lot of times playoff scenarios are difficult to suss out, but in this game, it's pretty easy. These two teams have to win to have a shot, and if they lose, their path to the playoffs is closed for good.
Well, thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me. Yes, the penultimate week of the regular season. The dominoes have to fall your way. Step one, Louisiana lost to Minnesota on Friday. Now is step two. This is the big game. That's the game that you have to win. I mean, you have to win out in general to have a shot, but you have to play everybody on the schedule, and all the stars have aligned for these two teams to collide here in South Dakota. Portland, of course, will live and die by their tailback, Ezekiel Love. Didn't have the best game last week against Louisiana. Looking for better things here on the road in Sioux Falls. For the Sparrows, Julian Tyree, 25 touchdowns, 25 interceptions. It's the give and take you get from the #1 overall all-time in passing yards and completions in the SFL all-time. Which will break the will first? Which is the final straw? Which breaks the camel's back? Tim?
Sioux Falls 4-6. They will receive Portland, also 4-6. They will kick off on the road, and here we go. The third to last game of the second to last week of the 20th season of the Simulation Football League is underway. And really, tonight, Tyler, the stakes are clear. These two teams are 4-6. They must win out and get to 6-6 to even have a hope and a prayer of making the playoffs at season's end. And by the time this week is over after Monday night, tomorrow night's game, there's a chance that the result of this game doesn't even matter. But these two teams can't even think about the other two games remaining this weekend. You have to win today to have a chance, and then you have to look forward to next week and win that game to have a chance, and then hope that about 1,000 other things fall your way. That's the script for both of these teams. Sioux Falls will start with the ball here tonight. Julian Tyree tosses out to Jason Williams, veteran tailback, 10th season in the league, first season playing here for Sioux Falls. Hasn't been used very much in the running game, Tyler, but as a pass catcher, he's their #1 target.
And that's the difference of the last couple seasons compared to the Sioux Falls we used to know, where it's been more of a passing attack led by Julian Tyree and getting Mr. Thrilliams involved in it.
Every single time they have thrown to Jason Williams this season, he has caught it, and he's 2 of 2 on this first drive. Nice sidestep and a gain of 4 for Williams. He's got 9 yards on 2 catches. Here's the offense for Sioux Falls and head coach Jason McGee. Julian Tyree is the quarterback. If you're a fan of this league, you know all about him. Jason Williams is the tailback. Charlemagne Cornelius, the fullback. Wide receivers, Michael Knight, A.J. Warren, Noe Terrazas, and K. Marion. The offensive line anchored by left tackle Hadrian Marlowe. First third down for Sioux Falls. They will run it with Williams. Williams gets a great block from Marlowe and gets the first down. Stuck at the end by Brody Gulch. Sioux Falls converts on its first third down. Tyler, this has been a struggle point for both of these teams this season. At least for Portland, the Sioux Falls offense is fantastic, and they show you why.
It's the #1 third down offense versus the 26 third down defense on the field right now, and at just that last play shows you the pedigree of the old rushing attack from Sioux Falls. Blitz coming.
Tyree will throw to a receiver for the first time, and another first down for the Sparrows. A dot from Tyree to K. Marion, who already has built a career season, Tyler. Just 10 games into a 12-game campaign, she set career highs in every category and doesn't look like she's going to stop anytime soon.
She's been a difference maker. 9 total touchdowns this season. Previous career best was set back in season 18 when she only had 6.
Portland jumps offside on this play. It's a short pass from Tyree, hauled in by number 81 for Sioux Falls. Don't even have him on my roster, Tyler, so I must be going crazy, but I'll double check that one. And it might not even matter because Portland jumps offside and the Sparrows are going to accept.
That'd be the week 2 signing Ben Harrison, so I don't blame your partner after not calling Sioux Falls all season long. Don't blame me. Had to delve into my
list somewhere.
I had to delve into my research as well. It's actually my first game calling Portland this season. I'm really glad to get a chance to call Portland. They're always a fun team to watch, especially on offense. Come up after the penalty, 1st and 5.
Yeah, so 5 yards, free play. Ben Harrison won't get his first catch of the evening. And Tyree will go right back, and they go right back to a similar play, and a better result that time for Noe Terrazas, the former Sioux Falls tight end, has his first catch of this game. He's also working on a career season.
I was just going to say, partner, from one current tight end to the former Ben Harrison so far this season. 127 yards. That was Ben Harrison's numbers. Pardon me. Noe Terrazas, 835 yards, 8 touchdowns. Really doing well here for the Sparrows as they convert again.
There's another tight end on that catch, Tyler. What a dot from Tyree. Miles Portis makes that catch, so they continue to dip down the depth chart. Portis has been on this team for a long time, and he's got his first catch. Tyree really spreading the love here.
5 of 5 to begin the drive. Really nice, consistent play from the quarterback here in the Sioux Falls as they keep the drive moving down the field.
That one catch to K. Marion earlier in this possession went for 16 yards. Williams' run went for 10. So here from the 24 of Portland, Tyree fires it into a tight window. Marion has her second catch. Fantastic coverage, but somehow Tyree threads the needle.
That's the veteranocity of Julian Tyree. He just knows how much of a touch he needs to put on a football to get an accurate pass and to beat defenses like Portland.
Marion had 72 catches for 1,076 yards last season. That was by far a career high, but this season 75 for 1,105 with 2 weeks still to go. Another dump out from Tyree to Williams, who is driven back. Nice tackle after a short gain. That is Derek Majors, one of the corners on the stop for Portland. This Portland defense, you got to consider them veterans, at least in the back half, Tyler. A lot of these guys have been in the league for a half dozen seasons now, but it's only manifested into 4 wins. They've really struggled to put it all together once again.
All or most of these guys that have spent 6 seasons in the league have all been with Portland.
Spent their whole careers with this franchise when they started off in season 15, a lot of these guys. Third down, Tyree's throw, swatted away. That's his first incompletion of this possession, looking for Terrazas over the middle, and that brings up 4th down, and Sioux Falls will have to kick.
That's only the second time they try to attack the middle, and we know who sits there, and that was Mel Davis again, now tying a career best in pass deflections with number 16 on the last play, setting up a field goal.
You and I were talking about this before the game, Tyler, but it feels like every season Mel Davis is at or near the top of the SFL leaderboards in pass breakups as a middle linebacker, and he once again is at the top of the leaderboards here this season. So that stops this drive, and Zashtel Black, who's working on yet another really strong season as the Sparrow place kicker, comes in and nails it from 34. Sioux Falls drives the field on their first drive, Tyler. They get to the fringes of the red zone, and they have to settle for 3 in this must-win game.
Well, still for Sioux Falls, it has to be considered a positive after what they experienced last week to now the Pacific Division champion Vancouver Legion, losing in that game 45-28. Black, no attempts last week against that team. But now they come out again, get on the board first, and that always will give you enough confidence to keep you going throughout the rest of the football game.
This season for Sioux Falls has to be described as up and down at best. I mean, literally the start of this year, they alternated results. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. If you lost track of that, so did I. Their last 2 weeks, they lost 2 in a row. It's the first time they had the same result in back-to-back games. That means they're 4-6. Same record as Portland, who has had a dismal back half of the season. They are 1-4 over their last 5. They finished last season 4-1, closed the season strong to get to 6-6 for the second time in franchise history. They're going to have to finish strong once again here in season 20 to finish 6-6 for the 3rd time. So here's sophomore quarterback Cyrus Jive, his first throw of the evening. And he links up with Ezekiel Love, a name we will be hearing a lot tonight, Tyler.
Ezekiel Love, more often than not involved in the rushing game. That's the bread and butter of Portland's offense for the last couple of seasons and counting. But here gets off on a good start, good drive opener here for Portland. Gets 7 yards.
Catches the ball quite a bit, 65 catches on the season. That is by far the most on the team. Only a couple of other guys on this roster have more than 40 receptions on the season. It's not been a vaunted season passing the ball for Cyrus Jive. He's at the bottom of the leaderboards in just about every passing stat. More on that as we go along. This offense has been buoyed by Love, who gets his first carry, and so much for being buoyed. He's snowed under by this great Sioux Falls rush defense. Nice hit behind the line by Jason Strongbow, and Love loses yards on his first tote.
Strongbow having his best season, getting behind the line. That is now his 14th. It leads the team, and it's a career high for Mr. Strongbow.
It's a crazy number for a linebacker, especially considering this line does not get a lot of TFLs. 3rd and 6 for Jive. Pump fake, fires, and dropped, and picked off on the carom by Sioux Falls. This team does not get a lot of takeaways this season. One of the best secondaries in league history. Not this season, and Nana Leahy has his 2nd interception of the season on Sioux Falls' first possession.
And that's just unfortunate for Portland. It bounces off the fingertips of Gavin Bouvette and right into the awaiting breadbasket, if you will, of Leahy. And Sioux Falls now set up an excellent field position.
Sioux Falls has 6 rostered players in the secondary, and Leahy is number 6. Offseason pickup from Seattle and formerly of Houston. Not been a big season for him, but a clutch play for him there, trying to save Sioux Falls' season. Tyree on a comeback route, and Marion had to jump up to make that catch and ends up losing yards for her efforts.
It's a double-edged sword, that comeback route. Sometimes if you're able to stay on your feet and come back and grab it and turn upfield, it works wonders. But that time, as we saw it most often than not, just a little bit wayward pass from Tyree. That sets him back a yard.
Portland will play press here on 2nd and 11. Split backs for Tyree. Common look here for Sioux Falls over the years. Pump fake. Tyree gonna launch, and a diving breakup, nearly an interception. That could have gone either way. What a play in the secondary by Portland's Leo Morris. Nearly had that pick.
Wow, we talked earlier about Tyree putting a good amount of touch on the ball to get it into his receiver's hands. Was trying to find Warren. Excellent coverage from Morris there on the outside. He's going to have to do it again here on 3rd and long.
Again, remember, we mentioned earlier, Sioux Falls is the best third down offense in the SFL. 63% hit rate for a league that averages about 55%. Play action, Tyree sets and throws into traffic again, and bobbled and batted away by 3 different members of the fleet. Take your pick there. That's Gulch at the scene of the crime. Morris was there as well. Risky throw from Tyree, and it's 4th down.
Well, Portland is right around league average coming into today's game in pass deflections with 51. They do turn over the ball 31 times, and so if you're looking at a good ratio, that's almost nearly 40% pass deflection interception total ratio. And we saw it there on full display.
Sammy Prefontaine will kick things away for the Sparrows. What a diving attempt by one of the Gunners to try to keep that out of the end zone, and it's all for naught, so it won't be a great net for Prefontaine, but you love the effort. We saw the effort for Portland a couple of plays ago to try to get that pick. There's an effort on the special teams play to try to prevent the touchback, and it seems to me early on, Tyler, we've only played, 6 minutes or so, but these two teams realizing the severity of this game.
And the defenses are coming to the challenge and giving these offenses fits early on in this first quarter. Now it's Portland's turn to try and change the fate.
We'll start off from the 20-yard line. Here's Ezekiel Love, the league's leader in rushing yards, and he's going to lose yards on his 2nd straight carry. Obliterated behind the line by Nick Fargo, another one of these Sparrow linebackers.
He has had a very quiet season, Tim. Fargo only had 3 tackles behind the line coming in today's ballgame, which is a career worst stat line.
7-time SFL All-Star. Jives pass right into the hands of the defense. It looked like he was the target on that play, Tyler. Terrell Davis, would you believe it? His first interception of the season here in Week 13, and it's already 2 giveaways by Jive on 2 possessions.
Career number 46 interception for Davis, and he just read Cyrus Jives' eyes perfectly, undercut the slant route. And again, Sioux Falls set up an excellent position. Can they capitalize? They weren't able to do so last drive.
Just outside the red zone. This is about where Black hit his field goal on Sioux Falls' first possession. Williams on the catch, slips out of a hit and nearly gets to the 10-yard line. They will spot him at the 10-yard line right there. Mel Davis with the hits, and a sneaky gain of 12 for Jason Williams.
This is why they call him Thrilliams. Watch this. He's just going to spin around stack and nearly... Oh, he does get out of the tackle by Bernard Smith, who's the team leader in interceptions. Just not strong enough to hold him on. And a 1st and goal, Sparrows knocking on the door.
Once again, Sioux Falls has been perfect. Every time they've targeted Williams this season, he has made the catch. So far, same deal here in this game. Right on the 10-yard line. Tyree looking this way. Short pass and a catch by Terrazas. Here is the Portland defense for defensive coordinator Ezekiel Love. On the line, it's Robert Brower, Luis Negron, and Jobu McSlim. 4 linebackers, a unique look. Mel Davis, Joseph Lama, Brody Gulch, and Khalil Thomas. And in the secondary, corner Chris Stock, Derek Majors, Leo Morris. Safeties, Bernard Smith and Dale McClain. Gain of 6 for Terrazas. His 2nd catch of this first quarter. 3:30 left in it. Heavy set here for the Sparrows inside the 5. Tyree will hand it off to Williams. Stretches left, stutter steps, and scores. Williams seals the deal with the touchdown. His 8th rushing score of the season, and the Sparrows go up 2 scores.
Well, the blocking was so good, partner. He just wanted to tiptoe into the end zone. He does a dirty bird just to show off just a little bit. Take a look again. Excellent blocking on the outside. Yet it's a good push from Hardren Marlowe, the rookie Pick number 5 overall on the left-hand side of that offensive line, and it sets up a touchdown. Sioux Falls capitalized on the turnover. It's now 9-0.
Tell you what, Tyler, he very nearly cost himself the opportunity for that touchdown with that stutter step inside the 2-yard line. He got hit right afterwards, but still had enough forward momentum, literally speaking, to carry him over the goal line for the score. Zashtel Black nails the PAT. He's perfect on his kick so far. Williams, it's been a weird season for him. This is his 10th season. Made 2 All-Star games, was on the Fort Worth Toros for the last couple of seasons. This is actually one of the worst rushing seasons of his career, Tyler. They do not use him very much, only 134 carries over 10 games. Math even I can do, he averages 13.5 carries per game. That is not a lot. 25th in the league in carries. He was over 1,000 rushing yards in each of the last 6 seasons, but just over 700 coming into tonight. So he's going to have to absolutely go off over these last 2 weeks as Leo Morris breaks through a couple of hits and has a great return here for Portland. That'll help kickstart them. But Williams is really going to have to go off over these last 2 weeks to go over 1,000 yards and, more importantly, get Sioux Falls a couple of wins to give them a shot to make the playoffs.
That's been the change in philosophy for Sioux Falls ever since Colin Hart left Sioux Falls, and they had a couple rookie tailbacks every once in a while. That's just been the change of philosophy for Sioux Falls since then, why we've seen them go more passing. Meanwhile, Portland.
And Cyrus Jive will pass after throwing 2 picks. That's a better one. Hits Israel Adams in stride, and Adams streaks across the middle of the field and gets to the 20-yard line on 1 play. What a dot from Jive. What a run from Adams.
Jive made AJ Levy bit. You're going to see this strong safety just cut and try and get the pick, and said Adams has it. And what a play from Jive. Excellent timing on the throw to find Adams, and Adams does the rest, eventually taken down later. But oh boy, Portland now noticing and understanding the weight of this game that they have to win. They quickly have to get back in the ball game. That pass sets them up with an excellent opportunity to do so.
Morris with a great return on the kick, 46 yards on the link up from Jive to Adams, and Portland is inside the red zone for the first time. Here is Love, and Love has nowhere to go again. He has carried the ball 3 times for -6 yards. This isn't Motor City's rushing offense, Tyler. This is Portland's. They're the best rushing offense in the league.
And it just goes to show when you're going up against good rushing defenses like Portland went up against a good rushing defense in Louisiana last week, why it's hard to get this team going. You're going to have to rely on Jive to throw the football.
Which he will do here into heavy traffic again. Hit about 4 players on its way to the ground, and it ends up finding the ground. I should clarify, Tyler, Portland is number 3 in the league in rushing yards, but they have the number 1 rusher, Ezekiel Love. He is tops in the league in carries and rushing yards yet again. He's had another sensational season. Portland has a team 3rd in rushing because they don't really run it aside from Love much at all, unlike Sioux Falls, which has a couple of different ball carrying options.
And it just goes to show you that Jive, yes, he's in his 2nd season. He's going to have these nerves. He's going to try and force a few more passes, and that has ultimately led to their 6th-loss season. They cannot afford loss number 7 as they come back to the line on 3rd down.
7th loss would eliminate either of these teams from playoff contention. They have to win tonight to have a chance. That goes for both teams. 3rd and 12. Jive over the middle, wide open. Oh, the pass is dropped. He had a target, Tyler, but he got popped immediately. That's Gavin Bouvette.
His 2nd drop of the night, unfortunately. It's off his fingertips again. I wonder if he is listening to the staunch defending of Nick Fargo's feet and maybe just getting caught off guard. Ultimately, it shouldn't hurt him too much as Joey Robb comes on to try and kick a field goal. He's been perfect both this season and in his 2 seasons as a kicker.
Took the words out of my mouth. He's been fantastic since joining this team last season. Has not missed a field goal in his career. Snap down and the kick from Joey Robb. He's good from 38. So Black hits from 34. Robb hits from 38. And Portland is on the board. They get inside that red zone after that nearly 50-yard link up from Jive to Adams, and they too have to settle for 3.
Couple of short drives. Sioux Falls only had a 3-play drive, which ended in that touchdown. Portland, after a long passing play to Adams, just stalls out near the 20-yard line. Only 5 plays, minute 18 seconds off the clock. Partner, we're already at our 7th drive of the ball game coming up.
We're just 9 minutes in, Tyler, but, I mean, Portland is the #1 team in the league in turnover differential, which I've said for seasons on end now is my biggest indicator as to what teams are going to be good or at least competent, and Portland obviously below 500 and is likely to finish below 500 this season, and they've got the best turnover differential in the league at +16. Not tonight. They're -2 through the first 9 minutes. It's obviously very early, and as you mentioned earlier, Julian Tyree does throw a lot of interceptions, but Portland does not give the ball away very much at all. It's second fewest giveaways as an offense, and Jiva's already thrown 2 picks, which he does not do very often, and to your point, Sioux Falls capitalized on the second one. So Tyree will throw. Williams again out of the backfield, accelerates, gets stuck by Morris, but still gets a gain of 12 and another Sioux Falls first down.
It's this screenplay out of an eye look that is currently decimating Portland's defense. They have no answer for it right now. They haven't been able to get in the backfield. That team they did, but it just overran the route, and Williams is able to turn up field with no one in front of him and pick up the first.
Tyree has been a new man this season. We've seen Sioux Falls and a lot of iterations of this team be very much a ground and pound team back in the Sioux Falls glory days, season 14 and 15, the best couple of years in franchise history, back when they had Colin Hart, as Tyler mentioned. They were one of the best rushing teams. Now they're an elite passing offense, and Williams is one of the reasons why, so is K. Marion, as we've already outlined. Williams gets one there, but they've really had a paradigm shift on offense, Tyler, and on defense too. I mean, you just look at the team stats from last season to this season, they're polar opposites, both on defense and on offense. Last season they finished 7-5. They won't get to that mark this year, so they will have a worse season this season, guaranteed, with a much better offense, or at least a much more dynamic offense, as Tyree throws again. Another catch by Williams, another spin by Williams, another first down by Williams, and he gets inside the 40. What a first quarter it's been for Thrilliums.
3 straight screen passes to Thrilliums. First one goes for 12. Second one only goes for a yard. Then he gets off a chunk of yards here. 25 yards to be exact. Thank you to Andy Hamilton in a stats truck. Bounces off Derek Majors, and then he just turns on like jets. How often have we seen that in the last 5 years, aka 10 seasons?
He's got 75 total yards of offense in this first quarter alone, and almost all of them have come through the air. Not a surprise given his track record this season, but still impressive. 30 seconds left in this first quarter. They'll run the same play to the other side. It's Williams again. Breaks out of the first tackle and gets the first down. Another 11 for Jason Williams. Davis with the hit. First down, Sioux Falls.
Why change something if it's already working so well? This time they run it to the near side. Last couple of them, but to the far left side of the offense, and just catching maybe Portland off guard yet again. Another 10-plus yard gain for Williams.
Williams was 8th in the league in receptions coming into this week. Not 8th among running backs, 8th among all players with 76 catches. And in this first quarter, he's got 8 more. And again, now more than 85 total yards of offense. And the game's only touchdown. We're done with 1 quarter in South Dakota. Must-win game for both teams. Sioux Falls leads it 10-3. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Happy to have you with us here this evening alongside the great Tyler Falk. I'm Tim Hackett. Thanks for joining us. A loss eliminates both of these teams from playoff contention. Hopes are faint even with the win, Tyler, as you've outlined to me over the course of the day, but it doesn't matter how faint. You have to win today to even have a chance.
To your point about me being the great Tyler Falk, I don't know about that, partner. A lot of folks will still call me 2-10, but I digress. Williams, you just take a look at the numbers. He has more receiving yards than the entirety of Portland's receiving core through the first quarter.
Portland only has 1 catch. That was from Israel Adams. They jump offside once again. Tyree risky throw, links up with Marion, who then dances down this near sideline, nearly past the first down marker. I'm curious to see where they spot her. And at this point, I might take the play if I'm Sioux Falls. It was 2nd and 7. And they will. Yeah, they declined the penalty, so Sioux Falls is going to take the result of the play.
Don Zepp getting tagged on the offsides call. It'd be interesting where they spot it. Do they give Marion a first down? It looks like they did. Marion just did get enough yards on that sideline before stepping out of bounds.
Yeah, good call by you. It will be a first down. That was the ticket for me, because if it was going to be 3rd and 1, then you take the penalty and make it 2nd and 2. But it was first down for Marion. Sioux Falls in the red zone. It'll be a quarterback dive for Tyree. He does this better than any quarterback in recent league history, Tyler, and this season he has done it better than anybody. He's set a career high in rushing yards this season. That won't help much, but that's something you never see in this league.
It's reminiscent of what they do. It's something they've held over, even through changing up into more of a passing offense. You will see Julian Tyree run the football up the middle. He does it so well and so often.
Don't imagine that'll be the last time we see him do it in this game, as Williams gets the give, gets about 3. So 2 running plays here on this set of downs. That gets about 4 yards. Andy Hamilton telling us now north of 6 minutes time of possession for Sioux Falls through this first quarter and change. Portland under 3 minutes. So Sioux Falls dominating the ball, dominating the takeaways, and leading by 7. 3rd and 6, Williams alone in the backfield. That's Marion to the top of the pack in the trips. Play fake, Tyree, end zone, tipped away and nearly tipped through the uprights. Great coverage in the end zone by Portland. That's Dale McClain on the coverage, and it's another 4th down.
They give 2 points or a point for a tip ball going over into the field goal range, because that's the only positive I can take out of that, because that was an ill-advised throw looking for Terrazas over the middle, and Dale McClain got his hands to it. Now it's another field goal upcoming here for Black.
You mentioned the experience in this Portland secondary. McClain is the least experienced. Sophomore. Spent both of his seasons here with Portland. He's working on a decent season. 5 pass breakups and 6 interceptions for their starting strong safety. And forces this field goal attempt from Black. Made the All-Star game as a rookie. A little bit of a down season comparatively last season, but great again this year. He's missed just 1 field goal. And he already made his first. Nearly blocked. Doesn't matter. Black delivers, and Sioux Falls goes back up by 10. If you're new to the SFL, it's the Simulation Football League. It combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game all into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website, www.simulationfl.net. The SFL is football for everyone. And that drive was all for Jason Williams, Tyler. He didn't get the ability to punctuate it, but he helped get Sioux Falls down there and get him 3 points.
That was the second longest drive of the ball game, when the first one came right at the beginning when Sioux Falls went 4 minutes 31 seconds. That last drive, 3 minutes 54 seconds. Time of possession crucial in all ball games. And like you said, we were talking about before, Tim, Sioux Falls currently handling Portland in that category.
That's a big reason why. You see it at the bottom of the screen. Cameron Irvine reading our minds like usual. Ezekiel Love has had absolutely nothing going. I was about to say he's been dreadful, but really I find it hard to blame him for anything so far in this game. 3 carries, minus 6 yards. He's been hit behind the line before he's even able to get going every single time. You don't imagine that's going to continue, but so far so good for the Sioux Falls defense. And right on cue, Love loses the ball. First positive carry for Love, and he coughs it up, and Sioux Falls has it. Third takeaway for the Sparrows, second fumble this season for Love.
Everything is unraveling in front of our eyes in terms of Portland's offense at the moment. Barnhart jumps on it, didn't quite see who popped it loose, but
I think it was Fargo.
Fargo, excellent pop, but third drive in this ball game that has started inside Portland territory. Sioux Falls are being handed this game on a silver platter.
No question about it. If they can score here, that might be a dagger in the second quarter. Tyree lofts it up. Williams rushes out to make the catch, accelerates, and gets the first down and a gain of 13. We mentioned it. Portland is the best turnover differential in the league. Second in takeaways, second fewest giveaways on offense, plus 16 differential. Best in the league by far. The next closest before action this week, of course, was plus 11. So Portland was by far the best in the league in that metric. They could finish this season as the number 1 team in turnover differential for the second time in franchise history, but not going to happen if this keeps up. They're minus 3 through a quarter and a quarter. First down, Tyree hit as he throws. Williams makes the catch out of the backfield and then gets stuck after a short gain by Davis.
That's just a little different passing route to the tailback if we're comparing directly the screenplays to a halfback out route, the screenplays can definitely providing a lot more spark. Excellent pursuit by the linebackers, sets up second down.
Williams over 100 total yards of offense now in the game. Even after that gain, only went for 2. 2 in the backfield and 3 wides for Tyree. Short drop, fisted over the middle and swatted away. A.J. Warren on the target, Leo Morris on the coverage, and now it's 3rd down for Sioux Falls.
Second clutch deflection we've seen tonight from Morris. Had that diving attempt on Warren early in the first quarter, gets one as the receiver is nearly in the end zone. Morris being a crucial difference maker here in Portland's defense.
Sioux Falls has not been very good on 3rd down so far in this game. 3rd down, Tyree's pass swatted right into the air, and 2 other members of this Fleet secondary had a play on it. Great coverage. That's Brian Evans. We mentioned the standouts in this Portland secondary. He's not one of them, Tyler, but he makes the play that time, and it's another 3rd down stop for Portland against the league's best 3rd down offense.
That keeps them out of the end zone, and it keeps the game back closer to a 2-score deficit, even if Zoshtel Black makes this field goal. So really good 10-yard stand from Portland's defense to keep this game close.
Sioux Falls made their first 3rd down conversion, which is why we started talking about how good they've been in those situations this season. They've now failed on their last 4, but it hasn't mattered because, to your point, Tyler, Portland's offense has given Sioux Falls the ball in not just plus Terry, but plus territory so many times that even though Sioux Falls failed on that 3rd down, their only 3rd down chance of that possession, they were still more than close enough for Black to hit his 3rd field goal, and it didn't even matter.
And to be honest with you, Tim, it wasn't really Cyrus Jive's fault. Yes, one interception was a little bit more wayward. The other one, unfortunately, bounces off Gavin Bouvette's hands. And Ezekiel Love, on his first positive carry in the ball game, has Nick Fargo for company. And that's how we see a scoreline at a 3-turnover deficit between the 2 clubs. Flag on the play.
Yeah, flags fly on this kick return. Morris tried to throw up the Heisman move. Can we say that on air in this league? Tried to throw up, well, we'll see, legal on line 1, as I like to say. And we'll see a penalty. We've seen a lot of penalties in this game, and it's going to be illegal hits. Illegal low hit on Portland on the kick return. My goodness, what else can go wrong?
Wow, Portland just need a come to Mel Davis moment at this point. Head coach, offensive coordinator, he needs to calm his guys down. Yes, it's a crucial game. Yes, your season is all but over with a loss, but you cannot lose hope. You have to get back on the field, and you have to put a drive together, and you have to put it together now. I think now or never for Portland.
Chuck Hook on the call. He's going to get the hook after that penalty. Nice link up from Jive and a nice catch on a quick out route by Nelson Lozano Jr., who had the best season of his career last season, made his first All-Star game and working on another good season here.
It's a good drive starter. We talked about that early in the ball game. Gets a nice little bump screen to help get him a little bit free, and he'll turn upfield, get the 1st down, and Portland's drive off to a solid start.
Portland's barely had the ball, so we haven't even been able to introduce this side of the equation. We've been talking about the Portland defense ad nauseum so far through the first 15 minutes of game action. Portland's barely had the ball. They've run 12 offensive plays and have turned the ball over 3 times. This is insane. They will run it, and Love has nowhere to go again. Another tackle for loss for Sioux Falls, this time by Johnny Van Man, former offensive lineman. He has just 17 tackles now this season, and 10 of them have gone for a loss. What can Portland do here? 2nd and 12. Jive will throw it. Quick dot. Lozano has room to run and room to jog, really, but Nelson Lozano with a lot of room after the catch and a clutch 1st down pickup for Portland.
He's quickly installing himself, Tim, as the backup route compared to the running game with Ezekiel Love, which it's like a French tank. It only has 1 gear, and that is reverse, unfortunately. But Nelson Lozano gets another 1st down for Portland.
His first catch went for 14. That one went for 16, Andy Hamilton telling us. So a nice start for Nelson from the 41. Jive, sidearm sling, over the middle he goes, and he links up with Ryan Davis, rookie undrafted free agent, just his 15th catch this season. And a nice catch for him and a gain of 8.
And it looks like Mel did talk with Jive a little bit, calm him down. Let's work on these short routes. Let's get a couple people involved. And right now we see Lozano Jr. getting involved, and right there we saw the rookie Davis get involved. Good, solid start.
And Benjamin Warner, the only starter on this team now without a catch. Second down, they'll stretch it out to Love, and Love finds some running room near side. By far the best run, and he holds on to the ball for good measure. Inside the 35 he goes. A gain of 17 for Ezekiel Love, and suffice to say, Tyler, that's more like it.
That is definitely more like it, Tim, and that goes to show you what happens when you don't have to rely on him on a drive and put all the pressure on him. Show him that, yes, we can move the football down. Let's get the defense back on their heels so that we can run the football, and that's how we saw a good 17-yard pickup.
That'll single-handedly put Love back into the positives, and he and Portland are hoping he stays there for the rest of the night. They'll stretch it out to the left side. Another solid run for Love. Give him 6 this time. So here is the Portland offense. You've heard from almost all of them in spurts at this point. Cyrus Jive is the quarterback. Ezekiel Love is the tailback. Jacob Farmer the fullback. Wide receivers Israel Adams, Benjamin Warner, and Ryan Davis, with the tight end Nelson Lozano Jr. And the offensive line anchored by tackles Randy Fatt III and Jay Warren, and center Jaden Taylor. 3 offensive linemen helping to pave the way for another big season for Love, and Love has the first down, running behind a couple of those offensive linemen. You see Jay Warren, Portland's number 68 in the white and blue. That then comes up giving Love some love after he gets the first down on the ground.
Love getting going here on this drive. A quick scoring update over in the game that also matters crucially to this one here. Indianapolis, Los Angeles still sitting at 0s, and it'll stay there until the end of the first quarter.
That's a game that all of us are watching intently for various reasons, but these two teams as well. Jive, a dot towards the end zone and a couple of yards short, but the catch is made. Another grab on this drive from Nelson Lozano Jr., and Portland's got first and goal.
Tim, there are certain drives which you name a player or a play after, and this one has quickly become the Nelson Lozano drive. Maybe the drive that reinvigorates this team to get back in this football game. Certainly a touchdown would certainly put them back within 6.
No question. And is this Love territory from the 2?
I would guess so.
Sioux Falls goes pretty light in the box. They will stretch it out. Ezekiel Love has finally started to get going, and he gets Portland into the end zone for the first time tonight. A dismal start for the Fleet, but they're finally starting to hit the open waters.
Give credit to Nelson Lozano on the drive. 3 big catches, Ryan Davis with 1, and the rest was done by Ezekiel Love after getting some renewed confidence on this drive. Really good drive from Portland to get them back in this football game. Extra point will get it back to 6 points.
Let's be brutally honest, Tyler. This was a horrible start, a dismal start for Portland. Those 3 giveaways, Jive did not look good. Love had the fumble, which has only happened twice this year. The offense did absolutely nothing in the first quarter. It was a terrible start for Portland. But even with all of that said, to your point that we both kind of made in passing, the fact that they limited Sioux Falls to just 3 field goals and 1 touchdown, that kept this a 2-score game. It was only 13-point deficit for Sioux Falls after that 3rd kick from Black, and now after that touchdown, after that great drive from Portland, this is a ball game.
Absolutely, and it's both teams know what's at stake. We're going to talk ad nauseum about what's at stake over and over again to get used to it as Portland get us going once again in a championship-like game.
Hamilton reading my mind, exactly what I was trying to find on that drive as Levy on the return. Haven't really talked about that side of this game much at all. He gets hogtied. Sioux Falls will start from the 27. On that drive, 9 plays, 83 yards, ending in the touchdown by Love. Jive with 38 yards, Love with 45 yards. Best drive statistically, and in terms of the eye test from Portland, they're right back in this game. Sioux Falls, for the first time tonight, is going to have a traditional drive. They'll start from the 27. It's their worst field position of the game.
Wow.
4 minutes left in the first half. And Tyree, who's had a mammoth season with a nice throw. A.J. Warren with the catch, his first of the day. First down, Sparrows, and a gain of 11.
It's not like they've been trying to get it to him. Leo Morris has been draped all over him all game long. He finally gets free and picks up the first down.
He's the master of the short yard catches this season. Warren averages 9 yards per catch, which coming from some other football leagues sounds like a nice season, but it's not. I mean, Noe Terrazas averages twice that, more than 18 yards per catch, which is one of the best marks in the league. Warren gets 11 there. Tyree shot puts it near side. Marion with a gain of about 4.
Keeping the drive going in the passing game. Still right up there, Julian Tyree, right around 150 yards now. Only 6 incompletions for Tyree. No touchdowns, but it's been 2. Given credit to this Portland defense, which has kept Sioux Falls honest. Look for, I'm guessing they're going another screenplay. Look for the near side. It's worked so far well today.
They've stacked this line, and they will set up the screen. Williams gets the catch, but then gets wrestled down. Not much on that, even despite that setup offensively from Sioux Falls. And Brody Gulch, former #1 pick. You know a thing or two about that, Tyler. He makes that tackle short gain.
That I do, and Brody Gulch doing the #1 pick's justice and fighting his way forward. And he's done a couple of really good job today, leading everybody in tackles tonight. That's his 7th tackle tonight.
That's insane. And this is a Portland team that does not get a lot of tackles, as we'll talk about. 3rd and 5. Tyree has time into coverage and ripped away. The Fleet have their first takeaway. A lot of coverage, a lot of targets for Tyree, but the only one he finds is somebody wearing whites. That's Dale McClain with his 7th pick of the season, and Portland has a chance to take the lead on this possession.
He had 6 picks in his rookie season, make that number 7, and that's the dual-edged sword of the slant routes, because if you run it right, you're able to get positive yardage and averaging about 10 yards a play on that slant play. And if not, if you got somebody like Dale McClain playing short center field, well, you get a turnover. Good job from Dale McClain. Portland back on the march.
Tyree is one of the 10 highest quarterbacks in terms of touchdowns and interceptions thrown this season. Talk about the double-edged sword for that offense this season as Love gets stuck after a catch. Let's go to Cameron Irvine for the first time tonight. He's got a game break from L.A.
Thank you, Tim. 6 lost teams need LA to win tonight. So far, so good. Logan Jack stood up at the goal line, but he crosses it. 7-0 Lycans, shutting out the Ramblers in the second quarter. Back to you in Sioux Falls.
Cam, thanks very much. Yes, a great result for both of these two teams, at least to start. And there's a dot from Cyrus Shive. What a great throw. And there is the first catch right on cue, Tyler, for Benjamin Warner. His first grab tonight, another Portland first down.
That now gives every contracted target for Cyrus Jive a reception, and it just seems like a different quarter. We talked about a partner. First quarter, not Portland. Second quarter, clearly Portland's.
All Portland in this frame for sure, and they're on the fringes again. Best starting field position and a great drive. 2 minutes left in the first half. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Happy to have you with us. A must-win game. Even if they win, there's a chance that whoever wins this game won't make the playoffs. A very good chance, in fact, but they don't care. You got to win today to even have a shot. So Jive's throw past the reach of the defense, and Adams hauls it in for a gain of 8. That was Nathan Barnett on the coverage. Quickly, here is the Sioux Falls defense. On the line, Darius Hawkins, James Kelly, Mike Wagner, and Johnny Van Man. The linebackers, Nick Fargo, Derek Williams, and Jason Strongbow. And in the secondary, you know it's a good one, John Barnhart, Nathan Barnett, Terrell Davis, Jay Ringgold, Nana Leahy, and A.J. Levy, the Hall of Famer. 8 yards on the second catch of the night for Adams, putting him over 50 in the game. It's about what he had all last week against Louisiana. Love runs, breaks out of the tackle, and gets the first down. Ezekiel Love doing his thing.
And we talked earlier about first quarter not good, second quarter better. It goes to show you in the yards per play for this offense. 4.7 in the first quarter, now right around 8 yards per play here for Portland's offense here in the second.
Post-illness, Andy Hamilton is ruling the offensive stat truck for us tonight. Thank you, sir. 90 seconds left in the quarter. Jive pump fake hit as he throws, and that knocked him off his moorings. First time either quarterback has really been hit in this game, Tyler, if you exclude the quarterback run from Tyree. Great hits, and it's second down.
Johnny Van Man just a little bit too slow to get his first sack of the season. Nice little pump fake from Jive trying to get Van Man a little bit off kilter. Both result in an incompletion.
These two teams allow a good number of sacks. They're both in the bottom half of the league in terms of sacks allowed. None so far in this game. Jive looking to the sideline, and a diving catch is made by Warner, who started his career as a tight end with the Chicago Wildcats and has since been here with Portland. Wide receiver the last couple of seasons, and gain of 7 for him there.
Another big third down upcoming here for Portland. They have really not really benefited too much on third down. This is their first third down of the second quarter. They're 0 of 2 so far.
The Fleet, after a dismal start, have the chance to take the lead. Love with the run, with the bruising path forward, and with the first down. They will run back with a hurry up.
Only 5 men in the box. It's big time to run in there. Oh, again.
Love gets the carry, and Love gets the score. The season of Love starting to take off, and Portland has tied this game. Do you believe it?
They were in a 3-2 dime package against a 2-back set, and Portland had the perfect play call on the last 2 plays. Excellent job from Mel Davis, the coach, and excellent execution from that offensive line all the way down to Ezekiel Love, who puts it in for touchdown number 2. Extra point to take the lead.
The fullback Jacob Farmer helping to pave the way, and touchdown number 14 on the season now for Love. Top 5 in the league in that category to go with his number 1 mark in carries and in yards. PAT from Rob is good, and Portland, Tyler, has scored 14 straight points after that dismal start. The Fleet have the lead.
And they've done a good job of just responding to Sioux Falls. After being knocked on the chin in the first quarter, they come out, they play strong defense. It's all after the interception by Dale McClain. They march down the field and get a score, which sees them take the lead. Excellent recovery. Now it's nice little ping pong battle. Sioux Falls needs to recover.
I can't believe what I'm seeing in the stat sheet provided to us by Andy Hamilton and Zach Haldorf. Get this. Unofficially, of course, but to this point in the game, both teams have 175 total yards of offense. In the first quarter, Sioux Falls had 128 and Portland had 47. In the second quarter, Portland has 128 and Sioux Falls has 47. It's unbelievable. It's the exact inverse split. I've never seen that before in my life.
Only difference is just 1 point.
And now we're going to change that, obviously, as Williams is going to get another nice catch. You've been on it, Tyler. This screen pass to Williams has worked incredibly well. Another gain of 9.
Back to the line. Do they do it again?
I can't believe the synchronicity of this game. Portland now leads by 1. They will do it again. Williams has to turn upfield, and he does. Williams accelerates and gets near to the midfield line on just 2 catches.
And it just works again and again. The Portland defense, especially on that hurry up, just a little slow to get off their blocks, and that's where we see offensive lineman Hadrian Marlowe, the rookie, again showing just a little bit of speed for a lineman, helping to get down the field and help provide a downfield block. Excellent stamina. They come out another goal line eye.
Love that call by you. That is a tackle pulling out on a screenplay, leading the play. I absolutely love to see that. Portland will stack the line, and so Sioux Falls will throw it the other way. Running room for Williams, and defended very well. Nice hit out there, limiting Williams to a gain of about 5. That was McClain on the hits. They'll run right back to the line. Sioux Falls has all 3 timeouts. Williams again. And again, hit right past the line. He will get out of bounds, stopping the clock, but only a gain of 1.
And yes, that play has been working well, but I'm kind of surprised they have it going here in the 2-minute warning. 26 seconds to go, all 3 timeouts, like you mentioned. Might want to try and spread the field a little bit more to get into field goal range. You need just about 10, 11 yards to get into Zoshto Black's range.
And Tyree has been setting the world on fire passing. He's got great numbers. If you're just watching this game, you figured he'd just be linking up with Williams the whole season. That's not the case. Marion and Terrazas are both great targets, and Tyree will finally go down the field looking for Terrazas, and Portland breaks it up. So a 3rd down stop for the Fleet once again, and Sioux Falls will punt it away.
Tim, that's the other way around. Noe Terrazas turned into the DB to hit the ball out of the DB's hands. So we're seeing inverses in yards, inverses in scoring, and inverses of where you're on the football field and what position you're playing.
Role reversal, I guess, and yeah, that saved potentially the second giveaway for Tyree, who's been held out of the end zone. His yards per attempt is 5.6 as Prefontaine nearly gets that punt blocked. Can Sioux Falls defend this one? They had a chance at it. It will die. The goal line. This is unbelievable. Sioux Falls is going to stop Portland at the goal line on a punt. You literally cannot do any better than that if you tried.
Pat McAfee, eat your heart out. What a punt from Prefontaine. And now can the defense hold Portland? They can still, if they play their cards right, maybe get a field goal out of this.
Remember, Love is usually the target in a situation like this, but Sioux Falls has been all over him for most of this game. Love will get the carry, breaks out of the hit at the goal line, and accelerates past the 20-yard line. Ezekiel Love started that run from the goal line and takes Portland to the 30 on just one carry.
Well, I told Pat McAfee to eat his heart out. Now I'm eating my words. 29 yards here for Ezekiel Love. There's no field goal for Sioux Falls, or no stop, no safety. There's a big old run from Ezekiel Love that gives Portland maybe a shot to heave the football down the field. And if I do remember correctly, I'm sure Andy or Zach will correct me the stat struck. I think Portland gets the ball to start the second half.
They do. You're right. Special teams players frustrated that their defense could not hold Portland out of their own end zone. Had a chance potentially at stuffing Love again. Jive will loft it up. Penalty flags fly. The clock is going to run out. Clock hits zeros, but we could have another play in this quarter, Tyler. Love with the catch. Strongbow on the hit. Is that an illegal man downfield?
Yes, it is.
Ineligible receiver downfield against Portland, and that's going to bring an end to this half.
Very unfortunate. That's the center, Jaden Taylor, just getting a little bit too antsy on that screenplay. Brings us to the end of a very eventful, topsy-turvy first half.
Ineligible man downfield against the center. Okay, I don't know when I've seen that called last, but that's the call here, and that will bring an end to, eventful doesn't begin to describe it. Sioux Falls dominates the first quarter. Portland then turns the tide, and the Fleet starts to rev up those engines, and Portland with a 1-point lead after 22 minutes. Look, Tyler, we started this game talking about how important this game is for both teams, and again, that's really an understatement. This game is essential to both of these two teams, and so far, they've played like it.
I'm going to use an English word to describe a typical football, not our term soccer word. It's called a mugging. Right now, Sioux Falls is winning the turnover battle, they're winning the time of possession battle, but they're losing the game. It's a mugging here at home for the Sparrows, where the Sparrows, this is their first ever meeting at home against Portland. They played 2 previous times over in the Pacific Northwest, and it's not really been smooth sailing. That first quarter looked like they were going to run away with it, but Portland's defense, settles for 3 field goals and keeps this game close. What I'm going to look for, Tim, is can Portland maintain the momentum when Sioux Falls was not? Can Jive keep the mistakes down to a minimum and keep finding Israel Adams on passes like that? And can Ezekiel Love keep going? Inversely, can the Sparrows defense recover? Can they contain a little bit better on some of these passes, which Sioux Falls has been able to do, especially the screen pass? Really need to lock down on that here in the second half to really contain. Because the defense has been there. The defense has been there, Tim. They just need a little bit more to push them over the edge.
I'm going to go back to something you said earlier in the game, Tyler, because I thought you were right on at that point, and it feels even more prescient now considering how the tides of this game have turned. You said Portland giving Sioux Falls this game on a silver platter. To me, it's not that they didn't do anything to deserve the lead. They still had to get those 3 takeaways. Nick Fargo had that great hit to force the fumble on Ezekiel Love. So I'm not saying that Sioux Falls did nothing in that first half. Don't get me wrong. But Portland put them in position to take that 16-3 lead with minimal offensive effort. And now that Sioux Falls has been trailing, we saw them on their last couple of drives. They had that screen pass going to Williams more often than not. And then other than that, the Sioux Falls offense has not done very much at all. So I'm curious what your diagnosis is from that first half. Did Sioux Falls take the lead because they were playing well or because Portland was just playing poorly?
Some would call them A, some would call them B, partner. I think they looked at that silver platter and it had Made in Minnesota stamped on it, and they're like, yeah, nah, not right now. We'll maybe take that platter back for you at the end of the ball game. But I think it's just Portland coming out better in the second quarter really led to the scoreline we see here, which is a Portland 1-point lead. It's all to play for here with 22 minutes of regulation left to go.
You mentioned it at the time that all of those gifts that Portland were giving the Sparrows didn't really matter because Sioux Falls was, I should say that Sioux Falls' offensive inefficiency didn't really matter because of all of the gifts that they were given by Portland, but now they're going to have to start taking this for themselves because Portland appears to have righted the ship after a poor start to this game. And now we're underway in the second half for a critical game for both of these teams. Portland will get the ball with the lead. Leo Morris, not much on this return. Happy to have you with us. This Sunday night SFL showcase. Tim Hackett and Tyler Falk in the booth. Zach Haldorf and Andy Hamilton in the truck. Cameron Irvine working hard behind the scenes as always. One other crucial game going on right now on our YouTube channel. Los Angeles hosting Indianapolis. Final 2 minutes of the first half of that one. LA with a 7-3 lead over the Ramblers. And if the Ramblers win that game, it's curtains for both of these two teams, regardless of what happens in this game here tonight. Ezekiel Love, who was stymied on his first 3 carries of the first half, stymied on his first carry of the second half, a loss of 1.
Darius Hawkins, amongst others, getting into the backfield. He's had a solid day, or solid season, I should say. 5 total sacks on the season, has 14.5. Really good start to season 20, and trying to wrap up with another good, maybe a postseason berth as Love gets the call.
Love will get about 6 to help to right the ship in his yardage total. So he's got about 75 rushing yards through a half and 2 plays. So honestly, you're looking at that and you think, all right, Ezekiel Love had a solid first half. Not game-breaking like he normally does, but solid. He's on pace for about 150 yards, which is about what he normally does. And look, he has the ability to have another career season if he goes off the last couple of weeks of this season, but not a good start. Jive's pass is caught a couple of yards past the sticks. Benjamin Warner with the catch. First down, Portland.
Yes, a very nice in route. And what did I say about Jive having to fit the footballs into his receivers, having to play some really consistent and competent collectiveness football, and passing the football right there. Good pass over the middle. Finds Warner, first down.
Jive has had a dismal year in terms of stats, but really that's because they don't use him very much, and that's because they have this guy to use all the time. Love first in the league in carries, literally nothing doing on that carry. He averages 28 carries per game, averages 126.5 rushing yards per game. Both of those are first in the league, and by contrast, Jive is 26th in a 28-team league in completions, 27th in attempts, and 28th in yards. No quarterback throws for fewer yards in a game than Cyrus Jive does on average this season. Right on cue, Jive will throw it out to Love. Love gets about 6 on that catch. Jive averages about 218 passing yards per game. Again, that's last in the league, and so far today about 130, so pretty much on pace for that.
Seen a lot more sure tackling on the play before. Derek Williams got the initial hit to stall Love at the line of scrimmage, and then Terrell Davis there on the edge, stalling any more forward progress. Brings up third down. Portland has struggled here, and they're going to struggle again potentially.
Love can't break outside, hit from behind. It looked like he had some daylight for a second, Tyler, but that window was slammed by Mike Wagoner.
He sent home the wagons. He came all the way from the right edge, followed Love behind his lineman to get to Ezekiel and bring him down at the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit on the ball carrier with the punting unit.
That's a defensive tackle with the hit outside of the offensive tackle. Great pursuit indeed. A.J. Levy with the return. Not much doing there. Hey, miss any SFL action? Then check out highlights of SFL games on the SFL YouTube channel and on Highlight Nation, provided by Victor's Valiant, YouTube's premier sports highlight maker. Subscribe to Highlight Nation and Victor's Valiant on YouTube for all your sports highlight needs. A lot of highlights to be had so far in this game, Tyler Falk, and over-under set at 54.5. I was a little skeptical about that, but again, we're on pace for that after this.
And Sioux Falls, a 7.5-point favorite. That first quarter looked like it was going to go that way, but credit to Portland to deny Jack Stata currently.
Surprised by that, too. And here's a big run for Jason Williams. His biggest run of the day gets Sioux Falls into enemy territory. A strong run from Williams. He's over 150 total yards of offense now.
25 yards on that one, and that's just good blocking. Charlemagne Cornelius, the fullback, helped out just a little bit there, helped set the edge, and then Williams is here to thrill it. He does all the rest.
He's been great when used this season, Tyler. He averages 5.3 yards per carry. That's 5th best in the league, even though he's 25th in the league in carry. So they barely use him, but when they use him, he's been great. Tyree to throw. This is the first time we've seen this from him in a while, and a great throw from Tyree to K. Marion, which has been a lethal connection for Sioux Falls over the last 2 seasons.
K. Marion, again, showing what she means to this Sioux Falls offense and to this franchise as a whole. Good little arrow route, undercutting Derek Majors underneath, finding just enough space in that defense to haul it in for Jive and the rest of the Portland.
Andy telling us that was the first time that Portland possessed the ball, if you exclude the final drive of the first half, which I think you fairly can. First time that Portland did not score on a drive since Love's fumble. It were 3 of their other 3. Tyree, another dime. What a throw from Julian Tyree. Inside the 15-yard line they go. What a pass.
Is this the night we're going to see, Tim? We've seen, it's like the odds are Sioux Falls, the even quarters are Portland, and right now it's all Sioux Falls. About halfway through this third quarter. Good pass from Julian Tyree finding Warren.
Yeah, it looked like A.J. Warren on that catch, his second double-digit grab of the night. Sioux Falls back in the red zone for the first time this half. They'll run it out. Williams, not much to do there. Nice tackle after a short gain. Khalil Thomas also started his career with the Chicago Wildcats, and now in his 5th season with Portland, and his friend Ben Warner is one of the Portland linebackers.
That's just the strong foundation of this Portland fleet. See, a lot of folks sticking together, which is always good for the health of any organization, being able to stick with one team for many seasons.
Run it, Jason Williams, right tackle, breaks through a tackle and scores! A killer day for Williams continues, and Sioux Falls is back in front.
The first half, it was all the screenplay, and to begin the second half, it's been all power running. What a drive from the Sparrows. Their first drive of the half goes 69 yards, and the time, again, very, very crucial. Just over 2 minutes on the drive, which sees them pull back in front.
Bernard Smith is one of the best ball-hawking safeties in the SFL. He's one of the league leaders in interceptions, but he was powerless to stop Jason Williams with a full head of steam, one-on-one tackle. See you later. Left him in the dust en route to his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. Just his 9th rushing touchdown of the season, Tyler. This is something that you were focused on before the game. It's been a quiet season for Williams on the ground. We've already talked about his success through the air. He's been very good and obviously has been excellent in that category tonight, but he's not been as dynamic, at least not as productive running the ball as he has for different times over the course of his career, but so far tonight, so much for that. He's been great. Another good return from Morris gets him to the 26.
Williams, again, middle of the road in terms of the rest of the SFL with 7 TDs coming in today. That brings his current total up to 9. Really having a good day today and really helping Sioux Falls try and put away Portland. But now it's on to their defense as Jive retakes the field.
Sioux Falls back in front. Remember, they led 16-3, just their 2nd touchdown of the game. So Cyrus Jive playing from behind, hits Nelson Lozano from behind, and a gain of 13 for the veteran tight end. He was brilliant last season. Nice to see a steadfast guy in this league like Nelson get rewarded with a career season on the field. He's been very good here this year as well.
Now, I'm not very much of a superstition type of guy or anything, Tim, but we only saw Lozano catch passes on that one drive which resulted in Portland's first touchdown of the first half. Does this mean that Portland's going to march down and get another touchdown because he caught a football?
A harbinger of things to come, perhaps. At least that's what Portland hopes. And this is a good sign as well. Love running right tackle, and Ezekiel Love gets 8. So we mentioned that Portland is one of the best rushing teams in the league, and they have been for a couple of years now. And obviously, the biggest reason why is that guy, Ezekiel Love, arguably the best running back in the league. There are plenty of other contenders for that throne, but he has been great once again this season. Again, tops in the league in rushing yards before this week. Give him 8 there, running up the gut and gets the first down there. But Portland as a team, they have been tremendous running the ball. In this season 15, which was Portland's first season in the league, they averaged 45 rushing yards per game as a team. That was 22nd in the league. They did not have Ezekiel Love that season. By contrast, Sioux Falls was 2nd in the league in rushing yards that season. But in the 4 seasons since season 15, they've been 3rd in the league in rushing once, 2nd twice, and 1st once. And Ezekiel Love is the biggest reason why. And this season, they're 3rd again, as Jive links up with Israel Adams for a gain of 6. So in the last 5 seasons, they have finished top 3 in the league in rushing yards every single time, and they're on track to do it again.
It's like Ezekiel Love came in and said, I've got a little bit of mojo. I've got lots of love to give to the Pacific Northwest, and especially to Portland, Oregon. And we're going to have some fun running the football.
He dominates just about everybody, it seems. He runs outside again. He will do it again. Ezekiel Love with a rush of 14 and brings Portland inside the 30. Look, Tyler, they had him stopped up in the first quarter. His first 3 carries went for -6 yards. He fumbled on his first positive carry of the day. It couldn't get any worse for any running back, let alone one of the best in the business. And since then, he's been tremendous. He's close to 100 yards.
2 yards shy officially, and it's due to him not giving up. And this Portland team not rolling over when they were down and when nothing was working, when turnovers were happening. This is some really good love, a.k.a. heart. Maybe not in that play. Defense gets behind the line.
Another loss, another TFL for the Sioux Falls team. I'm glad you bring up Hart because you already mentioned him, but in the Sioux Falls glory days, they were the best rushing team in the SFL when they had Colin Hart and Jalen Wells, kind of the 2 tailback set before it was cool. In the SFL, they were the best rushing team in the league. They actually rushed for more yards when they were the #1 team than Portland did when they were #1 in the league a few seasons back. Nice throw from Jive. Wide open is Warner, and he spins around a couple of hits and gets Portland to the 15.
Kind of surprised by that defensive play call. They really backed off everybody, expecting something deeper, and that just left Warner wide open on that short little post route.
16 yards on the catch for Warner. John Barnhart, 9-season veteran on the hits. Veterans all over this Sioux Falls secondary. They're one of the best in league history for a reason, but not really so far this season. They've been susceptible this year. From the 15, Jive will try to attack him. It's Lozano on the catch, jab step, and a gain of 7.
Again, the defense already started way off the line on the outside, stepping about 10 yards away from the wide receivers. They're telling Portland, they're showing Portland, throw it short, keep throwing it short, get these little chunk yards. They might prove to get them into the end zone if they keep showing this look, which they're showing bump coverage here.
Jive will throw, looking for the end zone, swatted away. We talked about the Sioux Falls secondary being susceptible, so much for that, they say. Great coverage, Nathan Barnett, 6-season veteran with that breakup.
It's just like they turn on a dime. We're going to play back, and it was the second they play tight, Nathan Barnett is right on his wide receiver, right on his man, and gets the deflection that denies a touchdown.
Ryan Davis on the target there for Portland. Rookie undrafted free agent, 15 catches on the season. So now Portland will pack it in. Farmer to lead the way. Jive will throw it out. Love with room to run, gets a block and gets the first down, but nothing past it. Derek Williams is this team's leader in tackles, close to 100 now on the season. Sioux Falls as a team has more than 100 more tackles than Portland does as a team, which is a crazy metric. Sioux Falls top 10 in the league in tackles as a defense. But Portland now will have a 1st and goal. Love alone in the backfield. Strong side to the south side. Toss it out to Love, who cuts up top, and nothing doing there. Another TFL for Sioux Falls. The first toss of the night. Tyler James Kelly with the hit, and it didn't work.
They tried pulling the right guard, Tim Jones, to try and help stop that from happening, but James Kelly gets into the backfield along with Nick Fargo and, denies the play. Now it's 2nd and goal. Another 4 wide receiver set. Expect a screen pass to either left or right side.
Clock ticking. They will set up the screen pass. Love with the catch. The spin and the hit by Sioux Falls. They were ready for it. It looked like the offense was set up to succeed, Tyler, but Sioux Falls stamps it out. Great hit by Terrell Davis.
Another big play from Davis here late in the drive, setting up 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Can Sioux Falls hold Portland out of the end zone? Just one more play.
From the 4, Jive. Open in the end zone. The pass is caught outside of the painted area. Israel Adams with the catch. He had space, Tyler, but he could not stay in bounds, and it's 4th down for the Fleets.
So much space. The DB was acting like there was a 1st down marker behind him and not the back of the end zone. Really surprising on the coverage, but Adams just a little bit too far, maybe led a little bit too far, or forgot where he was on the field just for a split second. That leads to Sioux Falls, for the moment, keeping the lead.
How much of that do you think is due to inexperience for Portland? This is just Israel Adams' third season in the league. He's only caught 1 touchdown this season as Rob nails the chip shot field goal. He's still perfect on the season, 3-point game. 1 touchdown this season, 11 touchdowns in his career, talking about Adams. I mean, it's not like he's a total newbie. He's got a lot more service time, if you will, than a guy like Ryan Davis, for example. But, I mean, that was a makeable play.
And it just goes to show you, again, it's only the second season in the league for the quarterback jive, and only the second season he's had a chance to work with his wide receivers. And Portland doesn't have the same wide receiving core they started their franchise with. So it's been not necessarily a revolving door in that wide receiving category, but lots and lots of new faces ever so often for Portland on offense.
And it's such a unique approach to offense as well. They have 3 wide receivers, but one of them is a rookie, so it's not like they have a ton of experience. And Warner is ostensibly their number 1 wide receiver, but he's a former tight end. And instead of augmenting that with maybe a 4th wide receiver, they have 3 offensive linemen. So it's just a very different approach. I have no idea whether it's a good approach or not, but it's certainly very different. So Tyree's pass on the first play after that field goal nearly picked, could have been picked, and Mel Davis at the scene of the crime yet again. What a surprise.
Well, no surprise there, and now he has a career high in pass deflections. We said he was a nice big old fly swatter over the middle of that football field back in our pregame meeting, and he just goes to show you what kind of, he's, instead of hands, maybe rip off those gloves, maybe he does have fly swatters in there.
First in the league in pass breakups, and again, not the first time in his career that he could say that. He is a menace as a middle linebacker. Portland technically has 2 of them, which is another unique thing about this roster construction. 4 linebacker look. Not a lot of teams in this league do that. Tyree will throw it. Williams again on the running back out and dives forward and gets the first down through a pair of hits, including one from Mel Davis. This halfback out has been brilliant for Sioux Falls.
And this time they spread the field a little bit more. We saw this screenplay come out of the goal line eye so early and often in the first half. This time they spread the field, which puts a lot more, lankier, speedier DBs out there instead of big, beefy linebackers or defensive linemen, and it goes to show you it works that way too.
And we're done with the third quarter. Back and forth we go. Sioux Falls back in front in a must-win game for both teams. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Liking this game so far, then smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. First play of the fourth quarter, Tyree play fake. This way, Cade Marion has the catch near to the first down line. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. Happy to have you among our viewership here tonight. Tim Hackett and Tyler Falk in the booth. Andy Hamilton, Zach Haldorf in the truck. Cameron Irvine in the studio. Thanks for joining us. The stakes are clear here tonight. A loss puts one of these teams at 7 losses. They're out of playoff contention for good. A win gives the winning team a fighting chance. Another running back screen. Williams with another catch and another first down.
Will Thomas picking up where his buddy couldn't, bring him down. Williams in another goal line eye screenplay that just works for Sioux Falls. And back to Sioux Falls and Portland, this being the third meeting, this is, more or less the rubber match. Both teams have won once against each other. This one, matchup number 3.
And neither of those first 2 meetings have been close. You said it earlier, this is the first time in the all-time series they're playing here in South Dakota as Williams gets a gain of about 5. First 2 meetings were in Portland, season 15, and then again in season 17. And one was a 30-point win for Sioux Falls. The other was a 20-point win for Portland. Kind of crazy how things can flip in just a couple of seasons. So first time they're matching up since season 17, and this game's been as close as it can be after that first quarter.
Those last two games, 20-plus points in both. This one will keep us interested till the end of the football game.
No question. Tyree's pass caught by Noe Terrazas, and again, he's had a brilliant season. This is his 7th season in the league. Started his career as a tight end back in those glory days for Sioux Falls when they were in back-to-back championship games. Both of those losses, but in the championship game 2 seasons in a row. And he's close to 900 receiving yards this season. He scored 8 receiving touchdowns. He had just 9 receiving touchdowns in his career prior to this one. And alongside K. Marion, that is a potent duo. Tyree lofts it over the defense, and Terrazas has that catch and a gain of 9.
Just a bit too high out of Mel Davis. He's got a couple of good deflections, but take him anywhere outside the middle of the field. That's prime state for Terrazas. Good little in and out from Terrazas. Good route running to get enough space from his defender to get the amount of yards. Tried to make him a little bit more happen with a spin move, but still. Good 7, 8, 9 yard pickup for Sioux Falls as they now march inside a field goal range.
I did this math, Tyler. If Terrazas averages what he did over the first 10 games, he will go over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career, but he's really got to go off. Williams has been going off all night, breaks out of the first tackle and gets Sioux Falls inside the red zone. Another brilliant run for Jason Williams, who's close to 200 all-purpose yards now after that run.
I was just going to say, it's only been here in the third quarter where they really have relied on Williams' running capability, where it's been the passing game, those screen plays, getting him, right around 132 receiving yards. Right now, around 75 rushing yards after that last big chunk.
Unofficially over 200 total yards of offense now. Play fake from Tyree going this way for Marion. Shoves out a tackler and gets 8. We mentioned Terrazas' career season. Same deal for Marion, who went over 1,000 receiving yards for the first time last season, 1,076. This season, over 1,100 receiving yards. Top 10 in the league in catches, yards, touchdowns, and targets. All of them have been career highs. They actually don't have a high success rate necessarily, Tyler, when targeting her. Just 2/3 of every target results in a catch, but when it results in a catch, it usually results in something big. That time it resulted in 8 yards from the 8-yard line. Williams again sidesteps and gets the first down, just barely. Brody Gulch helping to hog tie him down, but Williams does just enough to move the sticks.
And they're really forcing this defense to move laterally. The 2 plays before our last 2, basically four plays ago, they were forcing the defense to shift off to their left. These last 2, shifting them to force off to their right, keeping the defense on their toes.
Ready for another screen, perhaps? Here it comes. Tyree to Williams. Spins, and Portland holds him out of the end zone. Great tackle. On the outside, Bernard Smith helping lead the way.
Williams is getting slower and slower getting up from off the field. He is tiring out in this South Dakota tundra, as we can see everybody huff and smoke because of the chill in the air in Dakota.
Playoff race heating up, though, a must-win game for both teams. Tyree will toss it out to Williams again. Plenty of room, and that time it works. 3rd touchdown today for Jason Williams, and Sioux Falls goes back up by 2 scores.
Now here's the difference, partner, between that play and the play before, aka the same exact play. That time here on the touchdown, they stack everybody in tight, leaving the flats free and giving Williams wide open space to waltz into the end zone.
Williams has 140 receiving yards on 20 catches. I'm curious what his yards after catch are, Tyler, because he's not K. Marion. He's not catching the ball 15 yards down the field. He's catching the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So his yards after catch has got to be getting him over to 200 yards like that. And 20 catches for 140 yards. I mean, again, math even I can do. He's been brilliant. 7 yards per reception, and again, he's been successful this season as Black hits the PAT, but this is better than it's worked all year for Sioux Falls. Williams averages 4.7 yards per catch and has only scored 2 receiving touchdowns this year. Today, averaging 7 yards per catch and a receiving touchdown. So, I mean, it stands to reason that this is the best Sioux Falls has ever done this season on that running back out.
And it hasn't been the third downs either. They've really struggled on third downs this entire game. But when they're able to get it done, they're able to convert and make points.
Ready for a game update? Let's go to Cameron Irvine in the studio.
Thanks, Tim. Not only is LA beating Indianapolis, they are manhandling Indianapolis tonight. Logan Jack walks it in. 20-3 is your updated score entering the fourth. LA keeping the winners' hopes alive. Back to you.
Cam, thanks very much. Here's Ezekiel Love trying to keep Portland's hopes alive, and not much doing there. So, Tyler, you've been on this playoff scenario situation, all week long. You're very plugged into this league. 2-10 aside, you are as plugged in as anybody in this league. So, what does a loss potentially for Indianapolis to Los Angeles in our other game tonight? Let's get to. I'll figure this out after this play. If Indy loses in that game, for me, that opens things wide open, if you will, for everybody else in the league. 1 yard on the first play for Portland, now down by 10. Love hit in the backfield and crunched. Another TFL for Sioux Falls. When they've been good, they've been good. That is their 8th TFL of this game, and Strongbow has his 4th.
He has been a TFL machine tonight, partner, and it just goes to show you, even though the defensive line might not get a lot of tackles behind the line, it goes to show you that the linebackers are able to step up in a big way.
Linebackers have been great at that this season. Third down for Portland. Jives pass is swatted, and once again, it's the linebacking core that makes the play for Sioux Falls. Nick Fargo, the 7-time All-Star. You mentioned it early on tonight, Tyler. He's had a quiet season statistically. He's used to being one of the flashiest linebackers in the league. Not this year, but he comes up with a big play on third down, and Portland's going to have to punt.
And it shows you how much of a leader he is in Sioux Falls. We don't always hear a whole lot of chatter or anything come out of that Sioux Falls locker room, but the one thing we do know is he is the stalwart. He is the man to go to in Sioux Falls.
This is just Portland's second punt of the day, and they've both come in the second half from Dominic Birkin. Fair catch by A.J. Levy. That'll give us some time to go back to you, Tyler, because, again, we've talked ad nauseum in this game. Both of these teams have to win to have a chance in the playoffs. If Indy loses tonight, what does that do to the playoff picture?
Right, and the dominoes have to fall the correct way. And it all started with Minnesota coming back and beating Louisiana. Now, this is step 2. So one of these teams is going to win. That has to be said. Right. Now, with Indianapolis struggling, if they lose, we'll get back here in a second.
Swatted away, and that pass from Tyree. Morris has had a nice night, both in special teams and on defense. It's second down.
Right. Back to Indianapolis. If they lose, then there's just one more team that affects all 6 lost teams, which includes Florida and these 2 teams here. That San Diego will have to lose against DC on the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular in order for 6-6 teams to still have a shot at a postseason berth.
You heard it here first. Monday Night Spectacular is going to settle a lot of scores. Tyree trying to settle this one right here. What a dime. A huge gain from Tyree to Noe Terrazas. Longest pass of the night. Takes the top off this Fleet defense. And Sioux Falls sets up shop inside the 25.
They ran that play in the first half when Tyree was targeting A.J. Warren on the left side. They go away from Leo Morris and attack the other side of the field, and it works. Good play from Sioux Falls. Good reminiscing on what didn't work and what might work here in the second half.
Gain of 34 for Terrazas. Longest passing play of the day for Tyree. Now they will run it out. Jason Williams accelerates and gets hit 2 yards short of pay darts. The best run of the day for Jason Williams, right after the best pass of the day from Julian Tyree. And Sioux Falls is starting to cook when it matters most.
And they looked at the second quarter. They saw Portland come all the way back and take that 17-6 lead. And now since then, it's been Sioux Falls that has maintained the pressure. But unfortunately for Portland, they just haven't had the spark to keep up with Sioux Falls. This has been an excellent second half for the Sparrows. Can they punch it in? Only 2 yards out.
21-yard run for Williams, just off of that previous high of 23. They will toss it. Williams is stopped short, they say. We saw Portland run the toss just a few minutes ago. Tyler, Sioux Falls tries to run the toss. I'm a little skeptical of it, and it nearly worked. It's McLean on the hit, and now second and goal.
They had the fullback also coming in that direction and not necessarily pulling guard, which helped work. Here's a similar, familiar formation we've seen all night long tonight. Do they go up the middle this time?
4:20 left in regulation. Portland packs the box, trying desperately to keep Sioux Falls out of the end zone. Tyree taking his time. They will throw it. Tyree to Williams. It works again. 4th total touchdown for Jason Williams. And Sioux Falls will keep their playoff hopes alive by putting Portland to bed.
Thrilliams is here to thrill, ladies and gentlemen. 2 receiving touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and Portland just hasn't had an answer for this screen pass all night long. And it goes to show you, if you recognize a tendency and don't change what you're doing, it's gonna bite you. And for Portland, it might have just kicked them out of the postseason picture.
2nd receiving touchdown tonight for Jason Williams. He had just 2 total through Sioux Falls' first 10 games of this season. No problem on the PAT from Black. Largest lead for either team tonight. You mentioned it earlier, Tyler. It felt like the odd-numbered quarters were the Sparrows, even-numbered quarters were the Fleet. No longer. Sioux Falls has dominated here in the 4th quarter, and they've completely put Portland out of reach, or so it seems.
Now scored. Oh, quick mess. 21-3 here in the second half.
In the second half? Yeah. And Williams has 141 receiving yards. Jive unofficially under 180 passing. So Williams has pretty much outgained the entire Portland passing offense. Let's go back to the SFL studios. Here's Cameron Irvine with a game break.
Thanks, Tim. The check engine light is on. Mike Scott picks off Colin Pierce, but watch 71 of Indy. Do something! Lets him go right past him. Mike Scott is gone. Indy, in a shocker, will fall to 6-5 tonight if they can't pull it together. Back to you.
Cam, thanks very much. One of the best wins in recent Los Angeles Lycan franchise history, no question about it. Cyrus Jive trying desperately to right this ship for the Fleets. Links up with Benjamin Warner for a gain of 6. And, I mean, look, Tyler, that's a surprising result. LA has been in free fall over the last couple of weeks. You could argue the last couple of seasons have been a struggle for that franchise, as I well know, but a great performance from them tonight, and that is going to give Sioux Falls, assuming this results hold with 4 minutes left, assuming this results holds, if LA holds on to that win, Sioux Falls holds on to this one, the Sparrows are going to have a shot at making the playoffs here in season 20. 2nd and 4. Jive will toss it out this way. First time we've seen this play, Tyler, that is Farmer, Jacob Farmer, the fullback with the catch, just his 3rd catch of the season. The fullback does not even have a carry this year, and he gets a gain of 4.
And I'm a guy partial to fullbacks. I'm always got a soft spot for them. And 3rd catch, 3rd overall, impact in the season. I'd like to see more of them, but when you have a guy like Ezekiel Love, your main job is to block for him instead of catch footballs out of the backfield.
Jive's pass out of the hands of Lozano. He got hit. Jive looking for the flag. I was thinking the same thing, Tyler. That's Derek Williams, who's working on an amazing season with the hits. Let's see if there's anything iffy about it.
I think it was well after the
never mind.
That's a good play. Really good play from Fargo again. And bringing up 4th down with how much time's left and scoreline has it is, they don't go for it. They're giving the football game away. Good to see the offense back on the field. This is the season for Portland.
And now do they go to Ezekiel Love, league's leading rusher, who after a dismal start has had a very nice day. Got to trust him on 4th and 1. Jive instead will throw, and there it goes. Nelson Lozano with the catch. So much for Love, but you don't need any love if you've got Lozano on your side.
I thought all you needed was love. Was I misinformed? Well, we got Nelson Lozano Jr., who's come up with a couple of catches, and the omen still rings true on both drives, which he's caught in a pass. They've gotten a score. So can Portland go 3 for 3? Can maybe he's their good luck charm? Maybe he's got a lucky rabbit's foot somewhere.
So much for a whole lot of love. It's a whole lot of Lozano here, and 5th catch tonight for Nelson, about 60 yards. Which is pretty much what any receiver had last week for Portland against Louisiana. Revs held the Portland offense completely in check, especially Love. Jive, deep pass, and somehow he hits Lozano in stride. He had Terrell Davis draped all over him, and he makes an incredible catch.
That was tighter than the eye of a needle. What a pass from Jive.
Ringgold on that coverage, not Davis. That's on me. But either way, a brilliant throw from Jive. And now another nice throw. That's Israel Adams on the catch to the near side and a gain of 9.
Wow, all of a sudden the drive has turned on its head. The 4th down conversion has given this Fleet offense life. Now they're 23 yards away from pay dirt.
Big gain for Nelson Lozano. 88 receiving yards for him now. Portland not dead yet. Clock stops at 3.5. Jive, a dot, and somehow that one is caught. Are you kidding me? Israel Adams with an incredible catch.
Jive has turned into superhuman mode here on this drive.
He beat A.J. Levy on that one. Jive to the end zone, and that was nearly caught by Warner. For the second time in this possession, Jive wants a penalty flag on an early hit. I think he's got a case this time.
We won't get a second look at it, but that still leaves me on the fence, partner. That was real close and closer than the first time. You're right.
No doubt, and clearly not worth a second look by the booth. Warner not quite able to make that play. 9th play of this possession for Portland. High snap, Jive steps up, looks this way, and throws it right into the hands of Terrell Davis. He did not have any interceptions before today, and tonight he's got 2 against one of the teams that gives the ball away the least in the league. 4th turnover tonight by Portland, and that one is going to seal their postseason fate in season 20.
Wow, it breaks not only the Nelson Lozano good luck charm, but it also breaks all their previous drives, which they went 8+ plays on all their drives for their scores. Well, no longer the case. That drive, more than 8 plays, but it goes into the hands of Terrell Davis. Great reading of the play. Now, Sioux Falls backed up deep in their own territory.
Tyree's going to throw it to Williams, and Williams puts the spin moves on and then puts that stutter step on. Remember, that's what he did to score his first touchdown. Looked like he was dead to rights, maybe a gain of 3 tops, and instead he turns it into a gain of 9. It's Gulch on the hits, and if Sioux Falls gets this first down, Tyler, that's going to be ball game.
We've seen that stutter step twice now. Once on the touchdown, and it didn't hurt him there that time. That it hurts them from getting the first down.
Look at that. Look at those stats for Williams unofficially. Exactly 100 rushing yards and exactly 150 receiving yards. Don't give him the ball the rest of the night. Somehow, I think they're going to overrule me on this play. They will. Here's Williams. First down, Sioux Falls. That's going to break that nice little stat line, but more importantly, that's going to seal this game for Sioux Falls as we tick towards the 2-minute warning.
17 points, 2 minutes to go. Even the 3 timeouts won't save Portland tonight, as the Sparrows, for now, with how the scoreline is in LA, are still alive. They just need San Diego to fall on Monday, and then the Sparrows still have a shot.
All Sioux Falls in the second half, and the Sparrows sitting pretty with an outside shot at sneaking in to the postseason. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. It's turned into a solid day for Julian Tyree, pretty much right in line with his season numbers, alongside Tyler Fogg, Andy Hamilton, Zach Haldorf, and Cameron Irvine. I'm Tim Hackett. 2 minutes to go here in South Dakota. First all-time meeting in this state between these two teams. Strong toss, and that works, relatively speaking. Gain of 3 for Williams. First time out for Portland. We've been hinting about it all evening long. Let's tell you about it. This Impact Monday, better known as the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular, this wild Week 13 continues with a must-win game. Both the 6-4 San Diego Mavericks and the 5-5 DC Dragons are looking to hashtag make an impact and capitalize on some of the mistakes made by other teams around them. It all starts with This Week in the SFL pregame at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, with kickoff slated for 8:15 p.m. Eastern, right here on SFL YouTube. Williams hogtied, not much on that gain. Great hit by Derek Majors. Portland will use their final timeout. As you hinted at, Tyler, if both of these results hold, all eyes in the SFL will be on that Monday night game, as they have often been this season. I've tuned into most of them myself. But this time of year, the importance grows massively. And that's going to be a pivotal game for, no fewer than a half dozen teams in this league.
And it kicks off a week long of last week festivities as the backup tailback Freddie Fox goes backwards, and might see Portland have one last hurrah here in Sioux Falls. But it's going to kick off not only Monday night, but we've got some incredible games coming up the final week of the regular season. Tim, let's talk about Sioux Falls. They play Minnesota for the Central Division type, or for Minnesota potentially to win that Central Division title. If Tulsa were also to fall, Tulsa, meanwhile, they will play Indianapolis in their final game of the regular season. But all eyes going to be on the Central. All eyes going to be on that really crazy South Division where Alamo City and Houston will play for the chance to maybe make postseason themselves. Lots of fun to look forward to here in 7 days of SFL.
And it just kind of brings to mind the inequality at stages of this league as well, because you just mentioned the two divisions. Sioux Falls has not had a great year. They're going to be 5-6. So they have a chance to finish at 500 if they can win next week as well. But they're in last in their division because everybody else in their division has at least 6 wins. Cyrus Jive will loft it up. Warner makes the catch for a gain of 6. Meanwhile, for Portland, they come into this game second in the Pacific. There were 2 games behind Vancouver at the start of today. They will now move to 3 games behind Vancouver with the Legion's win earlier this afternoon and Portland's loss. But Vancouver's the only team in that division with a winning record, and they would have been the only team north of 500 even if Portland were to win out. So every team in Sioux Falls division has a chance to have a 500 or better record, and there's only one team in the Pacific that's going to have that mark. So it's just kind of crazy how things sometimes shake out. Jive lofts it up, wide open is Warner again. Another first down, and Portland moving the ball downfield with any sort of last hope.
And they're trying to keep those timeouts, or I should say lack thereof, as now the only friend for them is that sideline, and they've done a really good job of finding it here in the last 2 plays.
Jive at about 260 passing yards. Again, he averages less than 220, which is last in the league. Bumping up his numbers a little bit, but dismal day for the sophomore quarterback, must be said. 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Quarterback rating south of 60. Love did what he could at times. He did not have his classically brilliant game as Jive's pass nearly intercepted. Bunch of different guys out there defensively for Sioux Falls. Levy on the coverage along with JT Lane, and it's second down.
If I'm Jive, I'm throwing some more tight passes. It worked well on the last drive, but they're going to have to do it again. And this time not throw an interception on the goal line.
No kidding. Perfect coverage on that one from Terrell Davis to spell an end to this one. It's academic now. 90 seconds left. Jive's pass caught again by Israel Adams. You saw this team up close and personal last week, Tyler. Portland scored 1 touchdown last week in an overtime loss against Louisiana. It's not like the Rev offense was cooking like it often can be, but defensively, Louisiana shut down Portland, and they especially shut down Ezekiel Love. I mean, do you have the prescription for what it takes to stop up Love in this league?
Well, a majority amount of running backs can average around 4 yards a carry. We held Ezekiel Love to just over 3. And now, as we see here, Sioux Falls are making Jive throw, and he's okay at it, but not one of the best, like Julian Tyree. Deep throw.
Oh, what a pass. Right on cue. Jive with a brilliant throw. Warner escapes down the sideline and gets Portland inside the 5.
Just like that, saying, I can throw the football too, Ty. Shut up.
From the 3, Jive will throw again. End zone, and not a great throw that time. Ryan Davis was trying to slide into second base to make that catch, and instead the throw from the catcher went into center field. Full-on baseball season for me now, Tyler, and it's second down. Portland's about to strike out.
If he would have jumped instead of slide, he may have gotten his first career touchdown. Still looking for that here in his rookie season, and that would be a bright spot here in the season to get your rookie wide receiver a touchdown reception.
And Portland's going to need a lot more than a home run to come back in this game. 67 seconds left in regulation. Jive, sidearm sling, that was risky, right into traffic, and again, good coverage. Briggs Barkowski, another one of these Sioux Falls linebackers having a big night.
And when you get into this area of the football field, that end zone becomes more and more constricted and becomes more and more your enemy as an offense. Can't run as many deep routes, and the defense can play shallower, which we saw there, and deflect the pass away. Third down. Can Portland get another score before we end this game?
Portland trying to snap the schneid here in the second half. Jive steps up, throws. It's caught. Israel Adams hit at the goal line. More great coverage by Sioux Falls. That's Levy on the ultimate hit. Last chance for the Fleet on this possession. From the goal line, they'll split it out. Jive looking to throw. Love escapes. He's open, and he will make the catch. Ezekiel Love has his third total touchdown tonight. First through the air, and Portland back in the end zone late to make this look a little bit nicer.
7 total touchdowns by the 2 running backs combined. And unfortunately for Portland and for Love, it's the other tailback which had more and ultimately won the football game. Gets a nice little present at the end from the Sioux Falls defense to Portland. 40 seconds. You need an Easter miracle. And unfortunately, with Mike Daggs calling the Motor City game, Motor City didn't get an Easter miracle. Does Portland get an Easter miracle? They got 40 seconds and a couple onside kicks to figure that out, but that kick is blocked.
Yeah, it's not going to help. Joey Robb has never missed a field goal in his SFL career, and he just had a PAT roofed. And any of that positive verve that Portland might have picked up after that touchdown might have just been snapped. But, I mean, look, to your point, Motor City didn't get that Easter miracle. So maybe Portland is going to, if you'll let me borrow the phrase, maybe Portland can rise from the dead here in the last 40 seconds.
There we go.
Too soon?
Maybe not, except it won't be soon enough at this point.
It's about more than 2,000 years in the making, depends on who you ask, and it's not going to happen here tonight. Sioux Falls will recover the onside kick and seal up any chance for a Portland comeback. I'll dispense with any other further analogies and references. 40 seconds left. A must-win game for Sioux Falls, and they won it. That sets up a must-lose game for Sioux Falls fans for San Diego on Monday, and a chance now for all 6 lost teams to sneak into the playoffs here in Season 20.
At least one of them. At least one of them. Not all of them can make it. Still got lots of tie breaks to go through. Still lots of... Well, we got one more week of football to play here in the SFL. There's lots of fun to be had. Lots of games I'm looking forward to. Especially the Central game, especially Louisiana. Can they get off the snide after losing to Minnesota and take down Jacksonville? Can Alamo City take on Houston and maybe sneak into the playoffs themselves? One more week to go, Tim. We're in for a treat.
And tonight, the Sparrows do the job. They had to win tonight, and win they did. Portland's quest for their first ever playoff berth will have to be postponed for another season, and Sioux Falls has a chance to sneak in with this win tonight. Your final, Sioux Falls 37, Portland 26. The best turnover differential team in the league, Tyler. Portland plus 16 before tonight, -3 in this game, and as often in this league, it's a huge difference and a huge reason why we had this final result.
And it was those three turnovers in the beginning of the game and a crucial goal line interception at the end of it by Terrell Davis, which ultimately keeps momentum on Sioux Falls' side after a couple of, it has to be said, spectacular, spicy passes from Cyrus Jive to really make things interesting here down the stretch. But, wow. I think everybody knows who the player of the game is tonight. It's that man. Wow. Williams. Jason Thrillium Williams. Over 250 all-purpose yards, 4 touchdowns to keep Sioux Falls in it. What a ball game, Tim. 11-point separation. We another double-digit margin between these two teams. And Sioux Falls live to fight another day.
I love what you said earlier. The 2 running backs combined for every touchdown in this game. 4 for Williams, 3 for Love. It's not often in a head-to-head matchup that Ezekiel Love gets outshined, but tonight he was. Jason Williams, the difference in the game with his 4 total scores, and no surprise, he is your player of the game with one of the best games of his season, and a clutch time for it. That keeps Sioux Falls alive in the playoff race in Season 20. For all of us here in the Simulation Football League, it's been our pleasure having you here. One more week still to go in the regular season. That's going to do it for us tonight. For Tyler Falk, my partner, Andy Hamilton, and Zach Haldorf in the stat truck, Cameron Irvine behind the scenes, I've been Tim Hackett. Sioux Falls wins to stay alive. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long from South Dakota.